channel. Today we are going to dive into the new cream blushes that were just launched from Hourglass. They are currently right now available on the Hourglass website. They retail for $46 and they launched 6 different shades. I picked up 2 of the shades. I picked up the shade Loyal and Sacred. So I decided to make this entire video all about cream blushes. I have tons of different cream blushes in my collection and I've played with them for so long. So I wanted to kind of compare this formula next to other formulas that are out on the market, but also go through each one of the formulas and kind of give you guys an idea of which ones I like, which ones I don't, and which one might be best for you. So it's gonna be focused on the Hourglass. I will show you guys how they apply on the skin, kind of show you a few different techniques that I use to apply them, but also in my final thoughts, I will definitely give you the 411 on all of these cream blushes because there's been so many launched and I feel like you guys might be overwhelmed. I know I am, and I love cream blushes. So I want this video to be more of a video where you can decide which formula is going to be best for you. I wanted to first start out by giving you the price breakdown of this formula from Hourglass compared to some of the others that I will be discussing in my final thoughts. Once we get through the price breakdown, I will jump into the application and show you guys how I apply these cream blushes from Hourglass. Then we will get into the swatches and comparisons, and I will swatch the 2 shades that I bought next to all the others that I have in my collection that are similar to the 2 shades that I have. Then in my final thoughts, that's when I will kind of break down this formula and break down how it compares to the others. So let's go ahead and jump into the price breakdowns really fast. So like I said, these from Hourglass retail for $46 and you get 6 grams worth of product and that makes them $7.67 per gram. Okay. So we know that Tower 28, they have a ton of different shades. These retail for $20. You get 4.5 grams worth of product, and these are $4.44 per gram. You guys know that I have recently fallen hard for the liquid bronzer, blush, and highlights from Chantecaille, okay? I am obsessed with it. These from Chantecaille retail for $45. You get 23 grams worth of product and they are $1.96 per gram, which kind of makes me feel better about falling so hard for them because the price is not that bad. To be honest, it's not. So let's talk about the Patrick Ta. So of course, this is not your traditional solid opaque cream blush, right? So this is a blush duo. You get the cream and you get the powder. So this is supposed to be more of a topper. You can wear it alone, but it's definitely best over top of a powder, which kind of makes it very unique because there's not a lot of cream formulas that work great over powder. This is definitely one of them. So this entire palette retails for $34. You get 10.5 grams total. That makes them $3.23 per gram. But if I halved it and I was only comparing the price on the cream product, it would be $17 for the cream product. You get 6 grams in the cream product. That makes this cream formula $2.83 per gram. LYS Beauty just launched on the Sephora website and all of their cream blushes have been sold out for a minute. These are called their higher standard satin matte blushes. These retail for $16. You get 6.5 grams worth of product. They are $2.46 per gram. Let's talk about the Westman Atelier blush sticks. So of course we know that Hourglass is a more high-end brand. I would say they're very comparable to the Westman Atelier brand as far as price goes. So the Westman Atelier, these blush sticks are $48. You get 6 grams worth of product and these are $8 per gram. So of course I will get into the differences between this formula next to the Hourglass. All right, let's talk about these Fenty Beauty cream blushes. So these retail for $20. You get 3 grams worth of product and they are $6.67 per gram. So these are very expensive because you don't get very much product. Okay, let's talk about the 2 from Rare Beauty. So Rare Beauty has 2 different formulas. They have a liquid and they also have a cream. The cream formula is $21. You get 5 grams worth of product and they are $4.20 per gram. The liquid formula is $20. You get 7.5 grams worth of product and that makes them $2.67 per gram. So those are all the brands that I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the application. I'm going to show you guys how I apply these from Hourglass. Then, like I said, we're going to get into my swatches and comparisons. And then in my final thoughts, I will dial it all down, give you the 411 on each one of the products that I just discussed, and tell you which one I love and which one I don't. So let's get into the applications, and I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. Okay, let's jump into these new blushes from Hourglass. So I actually picked them up in 2 shades. So I got Sacred, which Sacred is a coral peach. So that's Sacred, and ooh, is she bright. And then I got the shade Loyal, which is a rosewood color. So those are the 2 shades that I picked up. I was gonna do the softer peach one, but I have so many peach blushes in my collection that are in that shade, but I will swatch these 2 shades next to other shades that I have, but these are very pigmented, like extremely pigmented. I mean, I am kind of surprised just how pigmented these are. This one's going to be a little bit more of like a nude, and then this one obviously is going to give you a pop of color. This is the instructions on how to use it. It says, apply Vanish Blush Sticks to the contours and apples of the cheeks. Blend upwards towards the temples with fingertips or brush. For a saturated color, apply with the Vanish Seamless Foundation brush, which I do have. And for a soft diffused color, apply with the number 2 blush brush. For a light stain, tap on with your fingers and build to the desired flush. This is the Vanish Foundation brush. So it is a more dense brush. You're gonna get quite a bit impact if you apply with a brush like this. This one, you can tell it's more dense and the bristles are shorter. So it seems like when you're applying with a brush, you know, like this is going to give me, this is the refer number 4. This is going to give you a lighter application because the bristles are longer and they kind of splay more at the end. But this foundation brush is really going to pack it on. With the shade Loyal, which is like the rosewood, I could probably apply with this foundation brush, so I might do that. And then with this coral color, I don't want to apply that much because it's very pigmented, it's more vibrant. I could apply it with a brush like this. There's several different ways that you can apply cream blushes, right? Some people like to just stick it directly on the skin and blend it out. Some people like to grab their sponge, go in, blend it out. Some people like to go in with their finger and apply it. I prefer a brush. I feel like with a brush, I have a little bit more control. Like I can place it exactly where I want it. And then I like to go in with a sponge and kind of really push it into the skin. So that's how I'm going to apply these. But again, you can apply cream blushes any way you want, any way that works best for you. What I'm going to do is I am going to grab this Vanish brush from Hourglass, and I'm going to grab the shade Loyal. Now I don't have any contour on. I don't have any bronzer on. I don't have anything on my face other than the Givenchy foundation, the Skin Caring Glow Foundation, which is why I'm really glowy in front of these lights. I need to powder. And I have concealer on. That's pretty much all I have on my skin right now. I'm gonna grab some of this Royal and just apply it right here on the apples of the cheek and kind of pushing it into the skin. It feels a little bit more satin than like a dewy, more emollient. Now I'm applying just a tiny bit and just kind of working it because I know this brush, you have a lot of control with a brush like this, but you're gonna apply a lot if you're not careful. So I'm just kind of dabbing it in. For this kind of shade, this is a good brush. A brush like this, for this type of color, it's perfect to apply because I feel like I have the best control to kind of stipple it into the skin. And I'm able to grab it just a little bit and just really kind of work it and tap it. Let's go ahead and go into Sacred and apply it on this side. I'm going to take the refer number 4 and I'm just going to pick some up here and apply it here on the cheek. It's so pretty. It's so much prettier than I thought it was going to be. I will also say, the way that I applied these and the formula, I really don't feel like I need to go in with a sponge. I am just to kind of tap it in. But this formula applies just really easily. Like, I don't feel like I need to go in with a sponge and kind of push it. Let's go in with this one and kind of apply it like this and see how it blends out with the finger and like, I want to feel the texture of it. Okay, so for those that like to apply with a finger, you're not going to have any problem blending this out. It blends out really easily. Yeah, so for those that prefer it, I am going to grab a little bit here on the sponge for those that like to apply with a sponge of the shade Loyal, and I'm going to put it right here. Oh yeah, it applies. So all the ways that I've tried it, I mean, I've got a lot of blush on. So far, I'm not having any issues with these. You know, sometimes with cream blushes, I've had several formulas that when I put them on, I feel like they lift the foundation from underneath and kind of look just a little bit spotchy, but these are not doing that. They're blending really easily into the skin and look very, very beautiful, actually. So I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and threw on the rest of my makeup. I wanted to go ahead and try this as lip. Why not? I mean, right? So I thought about putting on the shade Loyal, which is that rosewood color. I'm curious to see what it would look like on the lip. So this is how it looks without a lip liner. I definitely need a lip liner with this, but it's a pretty shade though. It really is. That's it for all the applications. Let's go ahead and jump into the swatches and comparisons. And then of course I will get into my full final thoughts on these products and how this formula from Hourglass compares to some of the other formulas that are out on the market that are definitely a little bit more affordable. So I will be right back. Okay, so now that we've made it through the swatches and comparisons, let me go ahead and get into my final thoughts and kind of dial this all down so that you guys can decide which cream blush formula is going to be best for you. So first things first, I want to talk about the Hourglass formula. The Hourglass formula, in my opinion, is the most unique. Well, there's one other one that's very similar to this, but this is a pretty unique formula in the way that it dries. So it kind of dries down to a powdery finish. So when you're looking at cream blushes, you have several different types of finishes. You have some that are a little bit more emollient, where they kind of give a shine to the skin. They don't last very long on the skin. I have several of them, which I will get into those. It seems like the more emollient based the cream blush is, the less it's going to last. So it's going to fade off the fastest, right? These from Hourglass, I feel like are more, they dry down to a very like powder finish. They do. As you blend them out, I don't know if you can hear that, but it kind of blends to a powder, almost to a seamless powder where it just blends into the skin and there's nothing there. So it goes from a cream to a powder form as it dries. Is one other formula in here that is similar to that, but not in the stick form, like not in the cream form. It's in the liquid. These are really pretty. If you're looking for that more like glossed skin look, then you won't like these, because these definitely have more of a powder finish where they dry and they just kind of seamless go into the skin. But if you're looking for more of that fresh look, but you want them to stay on, I will give you some options on, which ones I think would work the best. So the thing that I do like about the Hourglass is that they're not too pigmented to the point where you have to work really hard to blend them out. Kind of have that sweet spot in the middle where they have enough pigment to give you the color, but you can also build them without putting too much on, and then you get kind of carried away and then you have to, put your sponge in and blend it. You don't have to do that with these. So these are kind of the sweet spot, meaning that you do get the best application, but they're expensive. They're $46. These are great blushes. I'm not gonna lie. These are great blushes, but I think I have some in my collection that are just as good for less. So this is a good formula though. It is. But it's Hourglass, and you expect that from Hourglass. I mean, they don't like to cover a lot of shade ranges when it comes to complexion products, but they do make good products. They do have a good formula. So the formula I feel like in my collection that is the closest to the way that these dry is the ones from Rare Beauty in the liquid form in the matte. You know how she has like the dewy formula and then just more of the matte? The matte formula, in my opinion, dries very similar to this from Hourglass. I like to put them on the back of my hand and then take my brush and go in and then apply. I can't go directly on the skin with these. It's too much pigment, but this dries down very similar to the Hourglass in the way that it feels, right? So you can kind of hear it, and it dries down to a powdery finish. If you were looking at getting those from Hourglass, but maybe you just don't want to spend the money, or if you already have this from Rare Beauty and you really love it, you don't need the ones from Hourglass because they're very similar. I like both of the formulas. I think some people did struggle using this liquid. Like, I've heard a lot of people in the comment section tell me that they don't feel like they get an even application with this liquid formula. So if you are somebody that bought the liquid formula from Rare Beauty and you just can't get the right blend, I think you'll really enjoy this from Hourglass. The other formulas, there's two others that I feel like are similar to the Hourglass. The ones from Westman Atelier are also very similar. The difference between the Westman Atelier and the Hourglass is that the Westman Atelier is more pigmented, so you gotta be careful with these because these are more pigmented, and they have just a little bit more of an emollient tack to them. So they have a little bit of a tack. They're not quite as powdery as the Hourglass, but they are very beautiful. I, for one, love the shade Minette. I feel like this one is the most unique out of the two, which kind of, for me, like, justified the spend on these. This one has more of a shine to the skin. This one is more matte. This is the shade Petal, but their formula is a little bit more emollient, more pigmented, but they do last all day. It is a great formula, so it just kind of depends on if you're looking for a little bit more of an emollient or if you want it to be a powder finish, like more of a satin matte. So the other formula is this from LYS Beauty. So LYS Beauty just knocked their formula out of the ballpark for the price, you guys, on these. So the differences between the LYS and the Hourglass, these are a satin matte, so they do dry down as a satin matte, are very pigmented. This formula, you also have to be careful because you don't want to apply too much. And this one still gives the skin a little bit of a shine. In my opinion, it's a fantastic formula. Fantastic. If you didn't want to spend the money on the Hourglass, these from LYS, and they give the satin matte finish, they have a little bit more of an emollient, a little bit more of a shine, but they're really beautiful. So just FYI on that. The Chantecaille, which is my favorite formula, this just kind of melts. Like, these melt themselves. The bronzer melts itself. The blush melts itself. Like, everything just kind of melts. And you don't even have to do any of the work. It's fantastic. So this is from Chantecaille. This is a gel formula. It's a Gelee formula. This just melts right into the skin, almost like a stain does, and it is so beautiful. Like, it's my favorite formula still. I still love it. It's out of all the cream blushes I have in my collection, the ones from Chantecaille are still my favorite. I love the way this looks. I love the way that it gives the skin such a healthy glow. However, if you are somebody that has texture or enlarged pores, you might want to be careful with this because it might emphasize texture, it might emphasize pores because it does have a shine to it, but it also dries down. So now that it's on, like, I really can't feel it sitting on my skin, and it lasts all daggum day. But they're pigmented, beautiful, love them. The Tower 28s. So these are emollient. These are pretty, but these are very emollient based. This is going to be a little bit more shiny throughout the day. So if you're looking for more of that matte or satin finish, then you're going to want to go with, you know, the Hourglass or the Rare Beauty in the matte formula, or the LYS is more of a satin. These have a shine to them. So it depends on if you want to shine or if you don't want to shine. But these are more emollient, but they last the best out of all of the more emollient blushes that I have. So I have a few here that I just do not like and do not recommend that are emollient. And this is the only formula that is extremely pigmented and lasts all day, but is more emollient, meaning that it has more of a tack to it. I wouldn't say it's so emollient that as you're walking and, you know, the wind hits your face and your hair gets, you know, and it kind of sticks to your face. That doesn't happen, okay? But it is more emollient based. But in my opinion, if you're looking for more of that dewier cream blush, the Tower 28 is probably the best formula that I have personally. Now, my least favorite formulas are the ones from Rare Beauty and the ones from Fenty Beauty. This from Rare Beauty, it lasts for like 2 hours. It's gone. I can't even really get it to swatch, by the way. So I have to go into this like 6 times to even get it to swatch. I mean, look at that. Really? You guys, no. No. This is not a good formula. I'm sorry, but it's just not a good formula. So many great formulas out on the market. This is not one of them. Not only do you not get any pigment, but they don't last. I mean, they're gone. Like within an hour, you're like, I thought I put on blush. What the heck happened? Yeah, no. I don't got time for all that junk. Now, the Fenty Beauty is the same thing, you guys. So these are more pigmented than the Rare Beauty, but they are gone within hours. And it's kind of the same thing with the cream bronzers from Fenty Beauty for me. They don't last. So I would say the Fenty is better than the Rare Beauty in that cream. Oh, it's terrible, you guys. But the Fenty Beauty just does not last on my skin, and it's a really big bummer because I personally love Fenty Beauty products, but this formula is just not my favorite, but it is pigmented. I mean, you can see that swatch is pigmented, but as you blend it out, it wears off so fast, and in a few hours it's gone, and I like a lot of blush, so this just doesn't work for me. You guys know I love the Patrick Ta. This is one of my absolute all-time favorites, and it's just because the combo, putting the powder on and then, you know, taking your sponge and going in and tapping that over top, it is like, oh, it's so pretty. So I do love these. This formula from Hourglass is really beautiful, but I feel like there are some others out on the market that are just as good for way less price. So yes, I think if you've bought these from Hourglass, you will probably love the formula because I didn't have any issues with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm curious how it will last, but I have a feeling these are going to last. Like, I have a feeling this is going to last all day. What I am surprised about these two colors is they don't look that different on my skin. I didn't go in heavy-handed, so maybe if I went in a little bit more, I mean, maybe, why not? Let's just try it. I'm going to grab my brush and just put on a little bit more of the peachy one. Yeah, so I could have went in a little bit more heavy-handed. I've already powdered, and I'm curious how this formula will work over powder. Let's look. Where's my mirror? Oh yeah, see, it blends right over powder like a dream. You guys, I'm definitely blushed out though. Woo! That's a lot. But it went right over my powder. So there's not a lot of formulas that you can apply directly over powder and have it be beautiful. This just applied beautifully. Like, it's not patchy in any spots. I want to try the other side. Okay, I'm going to grab a clean brush. I'm going to go into this other shade, the Loyal. So yeah, I just applied a lot of blush. I'm not surprised that this works great over powder because it has a more powder finish. So I'm not surprised. These are really pretty. I feel like if you have dry skin, you might like more of the emollient based, something like the Tower 28. You would probably love the Tower 28s and the Chantecaille. These would be so gorgeous on your skin because I think those are both the most hydrating out of all the formulas that I have here. That's all the deets on these cream blushes. Sound out down below in the comment section and let us know your skin type and which formula you love in your cream blushes. Like, do you have a favorite cream blush? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.